Section 10.3. And this is on infinite series. And we're starting off with the geometric series. And after reading through the textbook, you get to this cute little formula here that says if you have a summation k equals 0 to infinity a r to the n, which makes it geometric, and you know that the absolute value of r is less than 1, then this summation will be equal to a over 1 minus r. If r is greater than or equal to 1, then the series diverges. So this is a really nice theorem. So example 1, part A, summation k equals 0 to infinity 1.1 to the k. I always suggest that you write down the first couple terms so you know what's going on. When you stick in 0, you get 1.1 to the 0 is 1. Then you stick in 1 and you get 1.1. Then you stick in 2 and you get 1.1 squared, and so on. So your first term is 1, but your ratio is 1.1, and that is not less than 1, so series diverges. And of course, if it diverges, you cannot come up with its sum. Part B, summation k equals 0 to infinity e to the negative k. So if I start writing out terms here, e to the 0 is 1. Then it's going to be e to the negative 1. Then it's going to be e to the negative 2, and so on. Now remember, e to the negative 1, r would be e to the negative 1. So we have r equals e to the negative 1, which means 1 over e. And the absolute value of that, 1 divided by 2.7, is definitely less than 1. So I know it converges. And I can figure out that the sum is equal to a, which is 1 over 1 minus e to the negative 1. If I multiply, let me rewrite it. If I multiply through by an e on the top and an e on the bottom, I get that. If I put that in my calculator, depending on whether they want an exact answer or a rounded answer, that's what I get for a sum. Let's go to part C. So that one converged. Part C wants us the summation k equals 2. Okay, be careful with that. Make sure you pay attention to it. 3, negative 0.75 to the k. So if I list some terms, the first term would be 3, negative 0.75 to the 2, plus 3, negative 0.75 to the 3, plus 3, negative 0.75 to the 4. So my first term is 3, negative 0.75 to the 2. And then to get to the next term, I would multiply by a negative 0.75. So my r is negative 0.75. If I put bars on that, that is less than 1. So I can do this problem. So my sum is going to be the first term, and if you don't list terms out, you probably will mess that up, over 1 minus the r. And if you put this nonsense in your calculator, you could do it by hand, but it's going to get kind of weird. You get 27 over 28. I would do the top set from the bottom, and I would put it in my calculator using negative 3/4. So if I go through here and do the little scribble for you, it would be 3, 2 negatives make a positive, so that'd be times by 3/4 squared over, this is 1 3/4, which would be 7/4, and that gives me 27 over 16 over 7/4. If I multiply through by a 16 over 16, I end up with 27 over 28. So there it is done out by hand. Example 2. We're talking about 1.035 repeating, which actually means 1.0353535 and so on. So we need to write it as a geometric series and then express its value as a fraction. And in case you didn't know this, every repeating decimal is a fraction. It can be turned into a fraction. So if I start writing down what's going on here, I'm going to say that I am starting with 1, and then I'm going to add to it 0.035, and then I'm going to add to it 0.00035, break it off by the 3 5s, plus 0.000035. So let's see what's happening here. I'm going to leave the 1 off and add it back in later. Just look at this portion right here. And I'm going to say that A, the first term, is 0.035. Now, how am I getting to the next term? I am multiplying by a 1 over 100, because that would move the decimal 2 places, a 0.01, which the absolute value of that is less than 1. So yes, it does converge. So I'm going to bring my 1 down now. 1 plus the first term over 1 minus r, 0.01. My decimal point got lost here. Which then turns into 1 plus 0.035 over 0.99. So now I'm going to move my decimal on the top and the bottom 3 places, and then I'm going to add the 1, so 990 over 990 plus 35 over 990 would give me, I don't know, 1025 over 990, but your calculator, if you've updated it with the fraction button, it should reduce to 205 over 198. So that finishes up example 2.